Have you ever noticed there are just some lessons in life that you learn early on and you never seem to forget those lessons? One of the lessons my dad taught me when I was a little kid playing sports was win or lose, Jack, you have to do the right thing. I started playing sports as early as I can remember. Obviously, I didn't win every game that I participated or competed in. I won a lot, but I also lost a lot. But I was taught that sportsmanship counted. For example, even as a kid, when the game was over, we were taught to stand in line and shake hands of the opposing team and tell them they played well. I was taught if I scored a touchdown and went in the end zone to act like I'd been there before. I was taught to hold my head up high even when I'd lost. I was taught not to throw the club when I played golf. I was taught to have class regardless of winning or losing. Now, that in no way was to diminish my competitive fire or to lessen the desire within me to win. It was just that, win or lose, I still had to act the right way. I had to remember that I was always representing my school, my team, my family, my town, etc. At least that's the way my family and my coaches taught me to play. No matter what happens, I was to do the right thing. In many ways, that's what Paul was saying when he wrote to the people in the city of Philippi in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verses 27 through 30. Let me read you what he says. He said, whatever happens, conduct yourself in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Then whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I will know that you stand firm in one spirit, contending as one man for the faith of the gospel, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. This is a sign to them that they will be destroyed, that you will be saved, and that by God. For it has been granted to you on behalf of Christ not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for him, since you're going through the same struggle you saw I had, and now hear that I still have. You want to talk about being in a tough situation? When Paul wrote those words, here's his situation. He was in jail in Rome. His very future on earth was unsure and shaky at best. He faced possible death for preaching and teaching about Jesus. He knew that churches like this Philippian church he was writing to were watching him and how he acted. He wanted to make sure that they didn't lose heart or lose faith. So he wrote this to them, whatever happens. That's two good words. Whatever happens. Whether I live or whether I die, whether I make it out of here or not, do the right thing. Act right. For them, it was even more important than something like they were representing their family or their town or their team. They were representing Jesus. So he said to them, whatever happens, conduct yourself in a manner worthy of the gospel of Jesus. Now that's a strong admonition. He went on to say, guys, I want to come and see you, but I may not be able to. So if I can't accomplish my goal of seeing you, that shouldn't have any impact on the way that you choose to live and act. Whatever happens, whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I want to know that you're standing firm. He's pretty specific in how he wanted them to act. He said, stand firm. We're to always stand firm, not waver, not give in to our doubts or our fears or our disbelief. He said they were to contend as one man. In other words, be united, stand in the gap, and fight the good fight. He went on to say, without being frightened. Do you get it? Regardless of what happens, whatever happens, don't give in to fear. Don't let my death, if I die, cause you to falter in your beliefs. Don't let any opposition that comes your way cause you to slacken up in your commitment. He said those who oppose you. Yes, regardless of what happened to Paul, there would be some who would disagree and oppose what these believers were to do. But whatever happens, they were to stand firm. As a matter of fact, Paul called their potential suffering a badge of honor. He said, for it has been granted to you on behalf of Christ, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for him. For Paul, it was a privilege to suffer for the cause of Christ. His point was very clear. Whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is a strong but clear message to all of us. All of the things that can happen to us on any given day are endless. We can win or we can lose at a myriad of things every day. We can win a deal or we can lose a deal. We can gain a new friend or we can lose an old friend. We can make more money or we can lose some of the money we had. We can face opposition or everybody can be on our side. The wind can turn against us or we can ride with the wind. The ride could be anything but smooth. Yet Paul said it doesn't matter. Whatever happens, conduct yourselves, act in a way that's worthy of Jesus. We live in a time of convenience and comfort. Everything is made to help us escape from pain and difficulty. So as a result, many of us have become soft in many ways. The Christians of the first century, they faced stoning, arrest, and persecution. You and I can't handle it if our seats are not comfortable in church. If we have a headache, we're ready to lay down our arms and say, this is too tough. We've created a circumstantial brand of Christianity. In this brand of faith, we stand when it's convenient to stand. We stand when we're not opposed. We stand when it's easy to stand. However, if things get a little tight or uncomfortable, we tend to shrink away from our duties. We tend to act in a way that doesn't really become our faith. We want to complain, squirm, get irritable, and become hard to live with. Paul said, whatever happens, guys, do the right thing. Those are strong words. Can you say today that whatever happens, you're going to do the right thing and act the right way? How consistent is your faith in your walk with Christ? Are you willing to be strong when being strong is not easy? Are you willing to do the right thing only when the right thing pays off? Are you willing to act and do right when it might cost you personally? Sometimes doing right and acting right can cost you financially, emotionally, and relationally. Is truth a commodity to be brokered for convenience? Is morality a constant or is it a preference? There's a big difference between having convictions and having preferences. Most of us prefer to do the right thing and act the right way. Yet under certain circumstances, we do what we prefer to do. A conviction, on the other hand, is something we do regardless of what happens. Today, ask yourself all day, as you're faced with various situations, am I willing to do the right thing as a genuine believer and follower of Jesus, regardless? Am I willing to do right, act right, and respond right, regardless of what happens to me? Is my faith held hostage to circumstances, or am I willing to stand firm against the wind? Here's a great thought for the day. Just do the right thing regardless. Here's a great prayer for the day. God, help me to not be up and down based on the circumstances in my life at the time. Help me to determine to do right whatever happens.